How's everybody doing?
Good, how are
Good,
you?
how you doing, Corb?
We're waiting to get dumped off the stove.
They're supposed to get a lot more.
Philly's supposed to.
Yeah, that's what they said in New York. I'd like to call to order the Beaver County Board of Commissioners work session for Wednesday, December 16th, 2020. We review work session discussion meeting minutes. Hearing none.
Fine.
All right. Department head reports. No department heads?
Dan Colville sent me an email last night, Dan stating his last available vacation day today. And asked if I would fill him in. He had a conversation with the Conservation District and the Bags and Blessings folks on tree planting. They just, real quick, he asked that I just run this by you guys and make sure there's no issues, but basically it's the paved walking path. Area D on the map, I just pulled a little section out there, where the Conservation District is suggesting planting trees approximately 20 feet side of the paved trail, providing the benefits of beauty and shade while we're walking, not causing any issues with it's far enough away, wouldn't cause any issues with the paving itself and the walking path. And that's what they would like to do. Also, they've asked Dan if DPW can make a kiosk so that when people do donate a tree, you know which tree and where it's planted on some kiosk, it shows a map so that the person that's dedicating the tree would know specifically where the type of tree that they pick out is planted. So didn't seem like it was anything that caused me any consternation with what we're doing. I think it's a great program if we can replant some trees, because I've had to take numerous trees down if you haven't been by there for a while. A lot of dead trees that we've had. So he just asked, run this by you guys, make sure that you guys are okay. I will get back to Dan and let him know.
No more from department heads. We'll move to solicitor.
On the list of resolutions for tomorrow are 44, a couple of the highlights. 2, 3, and 4 of the final CARES Act checks that are going out. There is some for small businesses, about 10,000 for nonprofit agencies, and 1.6 for municipalities. This is the municipalities was money that was left over from the previous allotment. Number 17, 18 deal with the jail. 17 is a $66 a day payment that we will get for housing any federal inmates. That is up from the previous, I believe the previous number was around 40. And then number 18 is an extension of the food service agreement for Trinity services at the jail. Number 19 is in the assessment office. This is software that will allow the assessors to be out in the field doing work, and any work that they do on a tablet out in the field will automatically be uploaded to the office. So it's simultaneous. That would allow someone sitting in the office to be able to view the data that was downloaded by one of the assessors in the field. A lot of CDBG ones here, starting with number 26. That is money for, if you recall, the cornerstone has been housing the homeless in hotels and motels. That's money for that. 27 is for a rental of a homeless unit in Beaver Falls on emergency basis. 28 is the home improvement program with the Housing Authority. This is $518,000 that is available for homes to bring their properties either up to code or fix any type of issues that they might have within the property itself. Number 29 is an assistance with foreclosures and closing costs to eligible individuals. And then number 31 is for rental utility assistance done through the Cornerstone. 32 and 33 are exonerations. 34, Attorney Carla Vincenzo serves as the individual who does bankruptcy work for the assessment office. He's been in that position for, I believe, a year now. This is an extension of his contract. 38 and 42 are HR. 38 is the policy regarding emergency responders who would test positive for COVID, giving those individuals 10 paid days off. 42 are the bylaws for the safety committee. 39 is the final budget that Corey will go over with you. And then 40 and 41, those are an increase to the administration costs under the CARES Act. Susquehanna and Zelenkowski Axelrod initially both submitted proposals for $50,000. We do have administration fees up to $200,000. These would subsequently bump those up. I believe it is an additional $25,000 for Susquehanna and an additional $30,000 for Zelenkowski.
It's with those, we will be up to 155,000 in the admin. So that remaining 45,000 will be able to transfer into money we can recoup for our response. So the end for CARES Act will be spent for administration is 155,000. It's not anticipated we'll need more than that. So we'll
there's
45,000.
There's going to be closing documents and that have to be finalized that they'll do through this increase that will be forward tomorrow.
Any questions on the resolutions or the solicitors?
I do need executive session to discuss a real estate matter.
And we'll move to Board of Commissioners. Corey, if you'd like to go first.
Sure, I'll just give a brief update on the budget. There were no adjustments to what was proposed. So the budget that was proposed on the counter is the budget that'll be in front of you now. Total general fund revenues would be $81,319,195 with the corresponding amount of expenditures. Balanced budget. There are no increases in taxes for 2021. So the millage rate remains at a total of 26, which is 25 mills general for general purposes and 1 mill for debt service. There was no use of unassigned fund balance to balance the budget. And expenditures, again, are pretty much in line. When you add in all the other funds outside the general fund, the total county-wide budget is $208,038,242,000, and that, of course, increases mainly due to federal and state grant programs, as well as some departmental earnings. With that being said, again, there were no changes to what was proposed on the counter for review. So with that, if there's any questions.
Any questions?
I've gotten one email from one department this whole time.
Yeah, I resent out an email Monday reminding department heads and elected officials to review their budget and reach out to Corey if they had any issues prior to this meeting.
Yeah, follow-up calls to clarify different things. No issues related to what's in front of you, though. So,
Any questions for Corey? All right.
Thank you, Corey.
Any Board of Commissioners, anything?
Go ahead, Mike. I have a few things. Just want to go over. One, I got this email on this CPACE, Property Assessed Clean Energy Program. And Corey, while you're are you aware of this Commercial Property Assessed Clean Energy Act that was passed in 2018? And there are several counties that have adopted CPACE programs. Essentially what it is, it can be used for existing and new construction of commercial, agricultural, and industrial nonprofit properties. Individual property owners voluntarily sign up and they can get these low-cost loans for energy efficiency. Are you aware of these in any of the counties?
I don't know that I've seen those or heard of those. That doesn't mean that there aren't some counties that don't potentially, but if you forward me that information, I'll definitely look into it.
Yeah, I just got the email earlier this week. It looks like there's a bit of bureaucracy involved, but Lawrence County, Allegheny County, Washington County all have these programs. And to me, if it's another way we can help small business owners get some money to renovate their buildings by putting energy efficiency stuff in there, I'd be interested in pursuing and understanding what it's about.
So,
Have you guys heard of this?
yes, so one of the things I think that is a downside to it, and I don't guarantee you remember this, is this will go on to a person's tax bill. So the person pays their loan through the tax bill. So when we send a tax parcel bill out for the new year, there'll be a extra amount on it. It's paid through the county, then the county then pays the bank that would have the loan with. The county also does become the first lien holder if the individual does not pay that. So there's definitely some bureaucracy and some.
Yeah, that's why we stayed away.
Yeah.
Now you say, I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, I just, with Lawrence, Washington, Allegheny on it, jumped out at me. I just didn't know if it was something we had discussed or not. And given the difficulty that small business owners have right now, I just thought it was another way we can explore it and just see if it's something that can help those folks.
I mean, maybe we can reach out to Lawrence and Washington too and see how it's working for them.
I know it's an extra step for the assessment office and the treasurer's office.
Yeah, the more I got into it, this is pretty bureaucratic details, but I didn't want to leave it up to, seriously now.
Large list of years ago.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, 2018, I said it was passed, so it was adopted by Pennsylvania in 2018.
A large list of banks that, that are available.
Provide the loans.
Provide the loans, and then the county then would add it to their tax bill. They would pay it once a year, and then.
I was just thinking, with all the struggles I smell this folks are having right now, it was a way for them to get something to help improve the buildings and the overall operating costs by lowering the energy efficiency. I'd be amenable to trying to
Discuss it with the Farm Bureau.
It does say agricultural properties.
Group came in, yeah. And they eventually had their lobby. Can you look into that, Gary?
We can look into that, just see what those other counties are
Yeah,
doing.
we can just
How
get,
much
we
difficult
can
it
get
is.
a copy of this.
Yeah, I'll forward you for that. The other thing was, I did sit on a prison seminar that featured the wardens from Franklin, Center, Montgomery, and Butler counties. I passed the information on to wardens too. Several of our prisons are having significant issues with COVID outbreaks. We've been pretty much under control, but I just want to take, I don't want to jinx anybody, but really this year has been remarkable, the job that the warden has done, our corrections officers have done, the safety and health personnel down there. It's just amazing to me how well they've managed through what Warden said in an email the other day was probably the most difficult year of his entire career. So I just wanted to thank them publicly and hope that we continue to manage the assets there pretty well. But a remarkable job really by the warden and the prison staff. One of those prisons now having trouble is Westmoreland, and I did say I want to hope that our Westmoreland commissioner counterparts get quickly on them. But all three of them now have tested positive with Gina Cirelli just coming down recently with that. And I did see where there's a 68-page vaccination plan that the governor put out. And that's 87 hospitals, and Heritage Valley is one of those hospitals that's supposed to receive the vaccine. So I don't know if there's any assistance or anything we can offer Norm, but I certainly would want to offer any assistance that he needs at the hospital. I assume that Heritage Valley has a plan in place for when they see it. But our numbers are still just through the roof. We're up to 196 deaths. Our death rate per 100,000 people is now the 10th highest out of the 67 counties in Pennsylvania. So this virus clearly is not done with Beaver County, and I appreciate what we've tried to do to mitigate, the virus spread here. I think it's stable and under control, the best it can be, but it's still out there in the public, obviously, in huge numbers. It's just, astronomical. I would even suggest that these last 2 weeks, I don't know if there's a reason to have the courthouse open, quite frankly. Maybe that's something we can discuss with the courts and see whether we do what some others have done and just shut down until January 4th. But I know that's an issue that we have to discuss with the courts and some other people. But
Yeah, I personally have some court stuff scheduled next week.
well, we have things scheduled. Like we have interviews and some other things that still need to be done. I don't know if we shut it down completely, but now how much more we can restrict traffic coming in here. It's pretty bad out there. So, that's all I have. So.
Couple of updates. Carpet,
They started ripping up Monday morning. They're working on the bottom floor. I know they got the corridor between
Sheriff.
the sheriff's office
It's
completed.
complete.
They were working on IT and planning this morning.
they actually stepped in front of it.
As well. The footprint was cement. It was caution taped off and also roped where the.
I'm gonna put their name in it.
I was just gonna say, I
I just, that's where I came from when I was downstairs. Like Tony said, the hallway by the sheriff's office is complete. They're actually putting the baseboard up now. So, and people are walking on it. It looks good. And actually, it brightens the walls up a little bit. I was thinking, do we need to paint the walls, have a tint, a beige tint, yellow
We
tint?
always need to paint.
But I think the floor is brightening the walls up a little bit because it's not a dark, dingy gray anymore, but it looks nice.
The next thing is the roof update. Are they working on the roof?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I was in Judge Russ's courtroom last week and they were certainly.
And the men's homeless shelter, the RFP, did it go out finally?
I don't think it's officially going out, but I know she's getting ready.
Yeah, I think it's going to be sent out, it's not officially yet.
So I'm happy about that. I was reading through it yesterday again, catching up on all the old emails. I did notice in the RFP, it doesn't say anything with how large they would like the shelter. Is that something that should be added in there? Like how many beds, because how can someone put an how can someone?
It's intended to be a 16-bed facility at the place that they're looking at. I didn't.
I don't think it says it in the RFP that it has to be at least 16 beds or whatever,
I
because
don't know off the top of my head.
I'm going to reach out. I meant to reach out to her today. So I know I have to call her cell phone because they're in the office, but
If you email them, I would email them, ask about these resolutions.
okay.
They'll respond.
Unless I misread it, and it's a short RFP. It's not a big long. It's not too long. But I didn't see anything in there about how big the bed is. So if someone wanted to put a proposal in, how do they know how? One person might be bidding on a 30-person bed, another person might bid on a 15. It's not apples to apples.
I thought it was in there, but I've had so many exchanges with them that.
Usually like 12 or 24.
Yeah. You want, yeah.
That's all I have.
Move to other business. Hearing none. Audience participation. Control?
I know we discussed this previously, about stop loss. I think it's December, January. I know we've had many discussions. We're not gonna totally go self-funded, but I don't know when's the last time. I don't know if you guys talked before. When's the last time we actually did it out, looked at our options? Just to give an idea, we went up 30% last year, which is like an extra $200,000 for us to pay for stop loss. So if it goes up again that amount, I don't know if you guys have discussions. Can we see what's out there? Can we see what's changing? The minimum is or the maximum, see what's lower our rate. I don't know when's the last time we did that. So let's just put it out there, December, January, when you guys usually sign this contract.
Corey, were you able to hear that?
I didn't quite hear all of it. I know it's not going.
Yeah, Controller Longo just wanted to remind us prior to December, January, when we start looking at the stop loss contract, have we looked for other options? It went up $200,000,
20,000.
200,000 last year, and if that were to go up again, rather than start talking about significant numbers. Any opinion or anything on that?
Yeah, I think I know I had been made a recommendation. I think it was from Caputo through the HR office, and they did an analysis of the claims and put a recommendation. I don't know if there was, I think it was just last week I saw it, or maybe it was this week or the week before. Not sure, but that analysis I think should be available if you want to take a look at that.
It came through a couple
I
weeks.
think
Couple weeks ago.
I want to say Tammy forwarded it to me then earlier this week because I think she was following up on it.
Yeah, you just replied to it yesterday and copied everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the budget, from a budgetary standpoint, I mean, we can cover what they're recommending, but it had an analysis attached to it that they had run and a recommendation recommending the level.
You want us to get that to you?
So I think that was the analysis that we're probably referring to. I didn't quite hear everything that was said there, but there was an analysis run by, I think it was Caputo ran the analysis, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So can you have Tammy send that? Okay. Any other business audience participation?
I do have one thing. I wanted to make note on tomorrow's agenda. We will be adding a couple of subsidies that you guys approved. We'll put on the agenda that'll come out of the 2020 budget. That would include the conservation district. I think their telework equipment, push Beaver County. That's for $12,000 acquisition of stuff from conservation district to put the maple syrup festival. And then, IDAC and Becklac, $25,000 each. But that'll come out of the 2020 budget. And we'll add them to the list for proposals in future budgets. Yes.
Any reason to reconvene from executive? We will move into executive session and not reconvene.
Okay.
Thank you. You want him on this or no? Okay. Thanks.
Yeah, no.
No. All right, Corey, thanks.
All right, thank you.
Hey, Corey, have fun shoveling snow.